Okay, so it says the side lengths in yards of a triangle and square are shown in the diagram. The perimeter of the triangle is equal to the perimeter of the square. What is the value of x? So we need to find the perimeter of the triangle and the perimeter of the square, and they're equal to each other. Remember, finding the perimeter means you're adding all sides. So I have three sides on my triangle, and then this square I know are all 2.5x. So first I'm going to take care of my triangle, label that with a T, and then S for square. So I have 2x plus 2 times x plus 7 plus 4x minus 2. So I need to combine my like terms on this side. So I have my constant and then I have my variable. So I have 2x. Then I need to distribute this 2 by multiplying. Okay, so I have 2x plus 2x plus 14, because remember, distributing the 2, you're multiplying, plus 4x minus 2. So now I have 2x, another 2x, and 4x. So in total, I have 8x. Okay, and then for my constants, I have 14 and negative 2. So that together is 12. So this side will be 8x plus 12 is equal to 4 times 2.5x. The reason it's 4 times 2.5x is because there's 4 sides to a square. And so when I multiply that out, that is actually 10x. So I'm going to write that over here. So I have 8x plus 12 is equal to 10x. Now I can solve my equation. I'm going to move my smallest variable, which is 8x, subtract by 8x. So that's 12 is equal to 2x. I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. X is equal to 6. So C should have been your answer. Next, let's take a look at the next equation. I have 2x plus 3 is equal to x minus 4. I move my smallest variable, which is x. What I do on one side, I do to the other. X plus 3 is equal to negative 4, because that negative sign is in front of the 4, it's included. Now I subtract 3 on both sides. X is equal to negative 7. And then last but not least, for number 3 on this page, okay, I have 70 minus 4x is equal to 30 plus 4x. I'm going to add 4x on both sides. This cancels. I'm left with 70 is equal to 30 plus 8x. I subtract 30 on both sides, and I'm left with 40 is equal to 8x. After that, I divide by 8 on both sides. X is equal to 5. So that means that there were 5 groups sent to classroom B. The diagram shows the height of a cone that holds ice cream. The cone had a volume of 1.5 pi cubic inches. What is the measurement closest to the radius? So I'm looking for the radius, so that means we need to undo some things. Well, I know my formula for volume of a cone is 1/3 area of the base times height. Once I break big B down, that's 1/3 times pi times radius squared times height. So now I'm going to substitute in what I have. So I know that my volume is equal to 1.5 pi. So I'm going to substitute that in. And then I know my height is 4.5. So I'm going to substitute in the values that I have. 1.5 pi for volume, then 1/3 pi times radius squared times 4.5. Then I am going to multiply my two numbers here. So when I multiply that, I get 1.5. So 1/3 times 4.5 is 1.5. So you have 1.5 pi times radius squared. Okay? So pi is a number. So just in any other equation, we are going to divide by our coefficient. Our coefficient is 1.5 pi. This cancels. Radius squared is equal to 1.5 pi divided by 1.5 pi, which is 1. Now, normally you would find the square root because that's our squared. Radius is equal to 1. Next, it says a bowling ball shaped like a sphere has a diameter of 21.6 centimeters. Which measurement is closest to the volume of the bowling ball in cubic centimeters? So volume of a sphere has a formula of 4/3 times pi times radius cubed. Okay, I have a diameter of 21.6. So that means that my radius is 10.8 because I divide 21.6 by 2. Next, I am going to substitute my radius in, which is 10.8, and I'm going to raise that to the third power. When I put this into the calculator, I get 5,276.67 cubic centimeters. So your answer choice would be B. All right, so next it says snacks at a county fair are sold in containers shaped like a cone or a cylinder. The dimensions of each container are shown in the drawing. Which statement about the volumes of the cone or the cylinder is true? So we need to figure out what the volume is for both of these. So area is equal to 1/3 base times height. But volume for a cylinder is just area of the base times height. So we have volume is equal to 1/3 times pi times radius squared times the height. Our radius is 4 and our height is 12. So when I substitute this in, I get 1/3 times pi times 4 squared times 12. And 4 squared is 16 times 12. That gives you 1/3 times 192 pi. And so the volume of your cone is 201.06. So then here you have pi times radius squared times the height. Your radius is 3. Your height is 8. So volume is equal to pi times 3 squared times 8, which is 9 times 8, which is 72 pi. So volume is equal to 72 pi. And then you could also just put the formula in just like this, pi times 3 squared times 8. That is fine as well, but then you get 226.19. So it says the volume of the cylinder is about 377 cubic inches greater than the volume of the cone. And that is not accurate. So we can get rid of F and G. And then it says the volume of the cylinder is about 25 cubic inches greater than the volume of the cone. So if I were to subtract these two numbers, you would get that. So you would get 25.13, which is roughly that. So H is your answer. Then let's look at number 7. It says that the table shows the dimensions of 3 cylinders. Which 2 cylinders have the same lateral surface area? So my formula for lateral surface area is 2 times pi times radius times height. So for cylinder W, I'm going to substitute 2 times pi. The radius is 3. The height is 9. So that means I get 54 pi. So in this instance, you can just leave it in pi notation. And then cylinder X, we're going to do the same thing. 2 times pi times 4 times 2, which gives us 16 pi. And then cylinder Y, you get surface area is 2 times pi times 4.5 times 6. And I just multiply these three numbers and you get 54 pi. So your answer choice would be A. This question is asking for the total surface area. So my formula for total surface area is perimeter of the base times height plus 2 times area of the base. So I'm going to shade my base. Remember, it did not specify what the base was, and we're looking for total surface area, so that is sufficient. I'm going to draw and label out my base, 16.8. So to find the perimeter, that means I need to add all the sides, and when I add all the sides, I get 48. And then in order for me to find area of a square or a rectangle, it's base times height, which gives me 16 times 8, which is 128. So that means area of the base is 128. Now I can substitute my numbers in, and I have 48 times 10 because the height of the prism is 10 from base to base, plus 2 times 128. And then when I add that all together and put this in the calculator, you get 736 square inches.